We live. We live right now. Today is July 28th, 2025. And I hope you're doing good right now. I still think about this coffee all the time. Not necessarily because I can't find it anymore, but more so like the lessons it has taught me over the years. What I remember of it, which was a lot of stuff, but for the info part, is that this coffee was a Sulawesi. Over 10 plus years ago, I got this coffee. I don't know when I got it along my journey, my roasting journey, but it was early. I believe so. I was trying different coffees from Sweet Maria, if you know, you know. And I saw this coffee. I read its tasting notes, and I couldn't really believe it. They did say on the bag or on the description that this coffee just keeps going. And since I was a rookie coffee roaster and barely more so a novice coffee drinker, I was curious. So it came in with many other coffees. And I was using my fresh roast. Didn't even know how to use it. Looking at different profiles, playing around with different things. I had no clue what I was doing. But what I roasted the first time, what I believe was to be a light roast, it tasted fine. I think I was using a Hario V60 at the time, probably even a French press. But that was all I had in my palate. And I tasted it and I wondered and I just sat there for a little bit. I was like, wow, this is interesting. It had, if I had to describe it in colors, a purple type of flavor profile. It was juicy in the beginning, acidic but not offensive, no grapefruity taste on it at all. I was shocked. I didn't know what to do after that. So the time I brewed it for my coffee club, nobody said anything about it. They just drank it. We just talked about cheese and other shit that we talked about. And then I went back to the drawing board. I roasted it again. This time for a medium roast profile. Full city or whatever it's called. I don't know the terminology. I should, but I don't. And it got better. And I was shocked. And the only person that I can really share the geekness of my wonder, my excitement was my wife. She didn't see much to it. She said, oh, okay, you're getting better. Okay. And I kept drinking it. Gave it out to my coffee club. Nobody really noticed. And I just kept on going down this rabbit hole of curiosity with this coffee. I went darker and darker and darker, and it kept hitting back. Fruitiness was still there. It was so sweet, didn't even know what sweetness was at the time. And I enjoyed it. And I was just sitting there wondering, like, are all coffees like this? I knew it wasn't, just because I've already roasted so many different coffees already. I tried so many different ones. Some of them hit you just right, depending on the roast degree or the profile or even the brewing device or the way your palate felt at that time. But this coffee in particular felt great all the time. All gamuts of the roasting spectrum. I was shocked and I just couldn't believe that a coffee like this existed. I've had that a couple times in my life, but this was really the first time that, now that I'm thinking about it, the first time where this coffee was truly one of the best coffees I've ever had. And I'm not just saying that just to give you shock value. I've tried so many different coffees from other roasters, from different countries and all that stuff. But this particular coffee, it just spoke to me. The Sulawesi. So days go by, even weeks go by. I stopped using that coffee because I wanted to cherish the moment. And then eventually I ran out of it. I didn't even celebrate. I didn't even know what was happening at the time with this particular coffee. I just sat there and I just was moved on to the next thing, as a typical coffee slut would do. Go to the next coffee, see what it's all about, and truly, really just keep going on that journey. So I tested different coffees. I roasted different coffees. I experienced different coffees. It was something that was just something that you do, right? You just drink coffee and move on. Drink coffee and move on. And then you'll get a memorable cup, memorable roast. And then you kind of figure it out from there, right? But then I started to think, it's like, wow, that coffee was amazing. I want to get that coffee back again. So I looked through my whole email and tried to see if I could find that coffee. And I couldn't really find it for some odd reason. It's an email, right? And I really don't delete my emails. But I went back to Sweet Maria. I tried to look for a Sulawesi. I couldn't find it. Not that particular one. Forgot really where it came from. And then from time to time, I would get another Sulawesi or Sumatran coffee from somebody else. It wouldn't hit the spot at all. It didn't do anything for me. I was pissed. I was not happy. I won't say pissed, but I was just frustrated because I couldn't find that exact same coffee. That coffee spoke to me. It's like, I don't like to bring up everything as a person or a personality, but you have that friend that you guys really connect, but for some odd reason, you guys just stop talking to each other. You're just wondering that's just probably the season that you guys were going to be together. It could have been the same case with this coffee. And, I think about that all the time. I think about if I can ever get something like that again. Don't get me wrong. I've gotten so many different coffees now. I've tasted so many different ones. My palate has improved. I like where the direction of my coffee journey is going. I like that I am out there just helping out people if I can with their coffee journey. But at the end of the day, we do have those coffees that just talk to us, just sing to us, just gives us a reason to just stop and think about coffee. And this was this coffee. And now that I'm thinking about it, it's just pissing me off that I will probably never, ever taste that coffee again. And there's a couple lessons here. One is just live in a moment, trust it, and just enjoy the things that you have in front of you, which we all know that. We all know that we should do that, right? Another thing is that if there's something that just talks to us, that keeps us going, that coffee or whatever it may be, hold on to it. Cherish it as long as possible. If you need to freeze it, freeze it. If you need to airtight it or whatever, vacuum seal it, do it. See if you can prolong that memory of what that coffee is. Because you never know when you're going to get it back or never going to get it back or whatnot. And just realize that you are on a journey of discovery. Yeah, it is about you growing and learning and doing all that stuff, right? But at the end of the day, it's one of those things to where that coffee is the driving force. That coffee is that thing that kind of just keeps you going in a direction that you never knew that you were going to go in. Yeah, people are great. Don't get me wrong. People that are on the same journey and same grind as you are, that's amazing. That's great. But at the end of the day, it's about you and that being. It's about you understanding yourself even more so in that coffee. Like when everything just blurs away and you're just making your cup of coffee and you're just sitting there enjoying the moment. That's all it's about. That's the only thing that you think about. So cherish it. Think about it. Enjoy it. And realize that it's not going to last forever, just like we don't last forever, which you already know. This is very cliche, but it's so true, right? So I think about that Sulawesi all the time. I've been thinking about it for the past couple of weeks as I embark on this new coffee journey that I'm on. These new beings that I hope that are awesome in their own rights. But I do think about all the other coffees that I have, how I started to vacuum seal them and put them in the freezer and kind of see what they're all about. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to enjoy, but also preserve. And I'll also just kind of have that memory of like what coffee is, what it has been for us along our journey, and what are we going to be doing with it as we keep moving forward in our lives. So yeah, this one's a little different, but I do wanted to let you know that this coffee talked to me, singed with me. We laughed and joked and did all that stuff that people and inanimate objects do. It was great and it was amazing. And I think about that all the time. I think about friends, family, and all that stuff and how that can be replicated with people. But at the end of the day, sometimes when we're just talking about coffee, we have those couple of coffees that are just talks to us. And I think that coffee taught me a lot more than just cherishing it, but also letting me realize that it's possible for a coffee to taste awesome and great throughout the whole roasting gamut of what we do in here. So that's what I got for you. I hope that you probably have a story like that. I hope that you do, because it's one of those things to where you're constantly like thinking like ever going to really get that back again. But at the end of the day, you still have those memories. You still have those thoughts. You still have those happy times of where it was just magical. So this is Oki at Everyday Being signing off. Let me know about your story. You know, what's that coffee that got away? Let's talk about it. I'll talk to you later. Bye.